You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. And be sure to smash that like button. Wednesday, National Signing Day. The traditional February signing date. Not going to be eventful as far as numbers for LSU, but could be an eventful day nonetheless. Shea Dixon, our buddy from On3, the Bengal Tiger, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here to talk about it. Shea, always appreciate you, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Matt?
Awesome. So Dominic McKinley's going to sign, and we're waiting on word from Terry Bussey. Can you catch us up and give us the absolute latest there with Bussey?
Yes. So Bussey is the only guy left that they're really after. As you noted, Dominic McKinley is committed. He didn't take any other visits. He's expected to sign tomorrow, and they already have 28 signees from December. McKinley would make 29. So Terry Bussey, the last guy left, and the skinny on him to catch up would be that he was always considered an A&M lean. He's committed to Texas A&M in September. After taking visits to LSU and Alabama, stayed committed through Jimbo Fisher's firing, stayed committed through the coaching staff changes there, but did not sign in December. And a number of guys did sign with A&M in December, despite all the shuffle in College Station. He wasn't one of them. He said, I'll wait till February, and then this past really week and a half, he did a Georgia visit, then a midweek visit to LSU, and then he wrapped things up this past weekend before the dead period hit with another visit to A&M. So 24 hours out, I would honestly say a couple of staffs are still feeling like they've really got a shot here. And I would point to LSU and A&M as being the two that A&M feels like, hey, some cautious optimism, they're going to hold on to them, and LSU feels like they've done enough at this point to not only put themselves in the mix, but, according to some sources you speak with, maybe even hold a little bit of an edge going into this final night before signing day when he has to come to some sort of, final decision and sign tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Shea, to the best of your knowledge, do you know if Terry Bussey's already made up his mind and is just holding on announcing, or is this something where he might literally make his decision here in the next 18 hours?
It's not unheard of, but again, we're talking about a kid who is already committed to A&M. So it's not like he's entering this one, weighing out a bunch of teams and where he should go. He, long before he committed to A&M, was considered an A&M lean. I think right now what LSU's battling is the familiarity with the program, the fact that he is committed there, the fact that it is a little bit closer to home to where he is than Timpson, and that's closer to his guardians, closer to his sister. And even with the turnover there, they still got some personnel members, some staff members that know Terry. So he's I think you're trying to buck that comfortability factor with the reality that LSU's pitching early playing time, development, that DBU moniker is something they're looking to work back towards. And you've got one of the architects back here now in Corey Raymond. So I think that helped boost their chances a bit. And this is a guy that, look, on the field, I think people put Frank Wilson up there as their best recruiter. Off the field, a lot of people would say that Sherman Wilson's one of the more recognizable figures, and both those guys have been pretty much spearheading Bussey's recruitment. So it's not a shock to see that LSU's giving him a lot to think about. And his midweek visit last week, Matt, I think is when they really dove into, look, you're the number one athlete in the country. You want to play DB. That's where people are recruiting you. Here's how you'd work at safety, at nickel, at corner. And I think that really jumped out at him and made him kind of say, hey, look, I do need to take a step back and really mull over my options before I go ahead and say, hey, look, I'm deciding on this school and I'm done with it. So in short, I do think that he may go into tonight and talk with his guardians and high school coaches and people he trusts, and LSU and A&M and Georgia's in the mix here, and then come to a final decision of, hey, I'm sticking with A&M or I am going to end up flipping. And LSU's been down this road before. They flipped 4 Texas A&M commitments already, so they took full advantage of Jimbo Fisher being fired. This would obviously be one that, in the opinion of most, was the toughest one or would be the toughest one to pull off because he was always considered a heavy A&M lean even before he committed there.
So Terry Bussey, he'll make his announcement 9 a.m. Central Time on signing day?
Yes, it'll be at Timpson. He'll make his announcement again. Read into it how you want, but he's going to have an announcement with hats on the table when he's already committed to a team. And this isn't a kid who's on Twitter drumming up his recruitment. He's almost like a Javian Toviano who's committed to LSU out of Texas, but just keeps it to himself. And everyone else has to kind of read the tea leaves, and the staffs kind of have to just get a gut feel of where they sit until he finally tells them, hey, look, this is a final decision.
Shea, should I read anything into the fact that when I look at the recruiting prediction machine there at On3, that there have been some analysts that have predicted a flip where, I mean, as I think last week it was 99% A&M. Now it's 75-20.
Yeah, I think that it's more so that he had made that other visit that counts into the formula.
Okay.
But at this point, no one's gone out there yet and said, "Hey, I'm predicting the flip and putting it in writing here." So if that comes, I think it's because he probably makes some calls tonight, and then maybe it starts to leak out of which staffs get told no or which staffs get told yes.
Okay. He's on Twitter at Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger. You mentioned Corey Raymond being back, with the architects of DBU. It wasn't just Bussey. This past couple of weeks has been pretty impactful, Shea, from Bussey and DJ Pickett, and obviously they got the commitment from for
Jabari Antoine.
Antoine, thank you. And then they got a visit as well from Dorian Brew. What can you tell us about that, Shea?
Yeah, you summed it up well. I mean, those are kind of the who's who of cornerbacks that are out there. I mean, we've got Jabari Antoine coming out of Westgate, ranked as the number 3 corner in the country. So when you're talking about rebuilding that corner room with elite talent, that fits the bill. I mean, he's the number 2 player in Louisiana right now behind Harlem Berry, the running back, who's a 5-star number 1 running back in the country. So he's elite as can be. Then you look around, as you mentioned, he got DJ Pickett to campus. He's ranked as a 5-star number 1 safety, but they like him at corner, so he would be another. But they also have been kicking the tires with Devin Sanchez, who's out of the North Shore, committed to Ohio State. Dorian Brew, you mentioned, was a guy who Ohio State has a commitment right now from not just Sanchez, number 2 corner in the country, but Naeem Alford committed to them this week out of Birmingham, Alabama. He's the number 1 corner in the country. So I think LSU is trying to say, hey, look, Dorian Brew, you're in Conroe, Texas. Yes, your mom ran track at Ohio State. They've been considered the leader, but his dad ran track at LSU. So Corey Raymond has tried to get back into that one quickly here, and getting him onto campus before the dead period was a really big deal for them. So that was something to take notice of. And look, there's a number of other guys he's reoffered. He's set visits up with in March and April. So I think we're going to quickly see, some dividends being paid beyond Jabari Antoine committing as they try to rebuild this corner room and get back to building pretty elite talent there.
Shea, as we move to the February signing date on Wednesday, and hopefully it's an eventful day for LSU with Terry Bussey, but either way, what are the other headlines or storylines that we're looking at, either for the conference nationally, something that could pop on signing day that's relevant to LSU, even if it's not a player committing to LSU?
Really, Bussey's one of the big ones left. When you look at the 5 stars out there and who remains unsigned, and yes, he is committed, but there aren't many uncommitted guys out there. In fact, the guys who have not signed with the school yet and are 5 stars would include Ryan Williams, who obviously was on board with Bama, backed off, got back off on board with Bama, and in that time he had reclassified, so there was a lot going on for him. And then it's Bussey. And other than that, Dominic McKinley is the only other 5-star who hasn't signed, and he's going to LSU. And he has, no bones about it, no other visits. So, again, I just glanced up and down our list of 5 stars, 32 of them now on 3. Only 3 guys haven't signed yet. One of them being Terry Bussey, one of them being Dominic McKinley, who's going to sign with LSU, and then Ryan Williams signing with Bama. So just being in the mix here with the only guy who kind of you don't know where he's going for sure yet is certainly kind of momentum that they continue to build on the trail. And boy, that would be not for lack of effort if they miss out on Terry Bussey, but boy, what a huge addition he would be, because he can play anywhere in the secondary. And their pitch to him is, hey, look, come in, and if you continue to develop at the rate you had in high school, you'll be playing early next year. And that's not that's not a stretch. They were playing true freshmen in the secondary at safety and at corner this year. If you want to talk about the backups like Ryan Yates at safety, and then seeing starters at like Toviano and Stamps in them. So early playing time development, that's all what they're kind of pushing on Terry Bussey right now, is why he's such a big need.
Shea, before you go, after tomorrow or after the signing period, we go into a dead period till March. Is that correct? So just remind me what the recruiting calendar is like after tomorrow.
So starting this past Monday, or gosh, it's only Tuesday. Signing day weeks can be long, even when there's not a lot going on. Starting yesterday, the dead period began. That means you can't see kids face to face. They can't come to campus. You can't go to their high school or whatever. And that lasts all the way until, I think it's like March 3rd or 5th. So about a month to where kind of coaches can reset and focus back on your roster, and you don't have to worry about, recruits coming through or having to go see guys or any of that. Doesn't mean they won't get any commits or, anything of that nature. We could see it happen, but that is the skinny, is that it will calm down a little bit. And look, I'll note kind of before we go here that On3 has LSU as the number 4 class in the country, and we'll see what happens with Bussey. The industry's got them as the number 7 class. There was a time back in July, Matt, that people were debating me and each other as fans if LSU could even crack the top 10. On3, they'll finish with back-to-back top 5 classes, and they've already got a commanding lead on the number 1 class for next year's cycle. So between all these hires they've made and now this new wave of defensive staff, I think that they're really settling into a groove with recruiting, and that's what LSU fans say. Hey, Brian Kelly, you take the job. One important thing is get us top 5 classes, and he's done that in back-to-back years, and then you start off that 2025 cycle with the number 1 class already in hand.
Shea Dixon, On3, the Bengal Tiger, on Twitter at Shea Dixon. All right, man. Appreciate it as always. Thank you.
I appreciate it, Matt. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.